Welcome to Lesson 75, Areas of Trapezoids and Complex Figures. Our objective is I can find the area of a trapezoid. So, here we go. Let's find the area of complex shapes just like we've been doing. I want to slice right here. That'll give me one rectangle and one triangle to find the area of. I'm going to find this area and I'm going to call it Area 1. I'll find the area of the triangle and call it Area 2. Just so I don't confuse myself, and then I'll add them together at the end. So area 1 is a rectangle. Looks like it's a rectangle that's 10 tall and 7 wide. So that, of course, is 70 units squared. Area 2 is a triangle, so it's going to be 1/2 times whatever the base is. To find the base, looks like I need to find, let's see, the whole thing is 16. I need to subtract the 7 that I've already used. So 16 minus 7 is equal to 9. Okay. So now I have the 9. Now I need to worry about the height. Looks like the height of this triangle is 10 minus 4 because this 4 is not being used in the triangle here. Let's see if I can write that a little bit better. 10 minus 4. 10 minus 4 is 6, of course, so this height is 6. Now I just need to multiply that, and 1/2 times 9 is 4.5. 4.5 times 6 is 27. Then I can add them together and find the total area. 0 plus 7 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. So I should get 97 units squared. And that's what I do. I get that. There we go. That's the area of the whole shape. Go ahead and try this one on your own, and then we'll try it together. Okay, now that you've paused the video and tried it on your own, we're going to do it two ways. The first way that we're going to do it is we're going to find the area of this whole box, and we're going to subtract out this region right here that's not a part of the shape. That might be the easiest way, so let's do that first. So the area of the whole box is a square that's 10 tall and 10 long. So 10 times 10 is 100 units squared. Then we want to subtract off that little triangle here. Okay, what do we know about this triangle? This triangle is 10 minus 7 tall, so that's 3. This triangle is 10 minus 6 long, so that's 4. So the area of the little triangle is 1/2 times the base, which is 4, times the height, which is 3. 1/2 times 4 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 100 minus 6 is 94 units squared. So that's going to be the area of the shape. The other way we can do it, I'm going to erase those lines so we can try it the other way. The other way we can do it is saying that, hey, let's divide this up. I'm going to divide it right here into 3 shapes and then add them together. I'm going to have this first rectangle, I'm going to have this second rectangle, and I'm going to have this triangle. You can also divide it up, horizontally, and you'll also get those 3 shapes, but just sort of in a different order. So I need to figure out what the dimensions of each shape are. So this first rectangle looks pretty easy. I have one that's 10 tall and 6 wide. Okay, so 60 square units. My area of my second region, let's see, we didn't use this 6 here, so this is going to be 10 minus 6, where from this point to this point is 10 minus 6, which is 4. Okay, so that's also going to be this one right here. That'll also be 4 then. Now I need to worry about the height. This height, oh, it looks like it's just 7. Awesome. So that's going to be 4 times 7, which is 28 units squared. Now it's time for my triangle. My triangle, I already know the base. The area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base. Now I need to worry about the height. My height is this side 10 minus the 7 that we're not going to use. So 10 minus 7, which is 3. 1/2 times 4 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So I should get 6 units squared. And let's add all of those together. 0 plus 8 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry the 1. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. And I get 94 units squared. And look at that. We got the same area, even though we used a different method. We got the same area. Cool. You can use either one of these methods, either finding a bigger shape and then subtracting off what you don't use, or dividing up our shape into small shapes and adding them all together will give us the total area. So now we need to find the area of a trapezoid. Okay, what I usually do, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what the book wants you to say. So the book would say, oh, this is base 1 because it's a base and it's on the top. This one's base 2. And hey, like, if you kind of take the average of the two distances and use them, you'll get a rectangle. Because if we think about it here for a second, if we think about it, in reality, if I use base 2 as the sides of my rectangle, the sides will be much too big. If I use base 1, the rectangle will be much too small. Then let's cut it in half and use the one that's halfway in between them. And, well, then we'll have some sort of height. And so we'll use half of the distance between them times the height. And that's the formula for the area of a trapezoid. That's kind of how you get that area. But I find this formula very hard to remember. So here's what I do. And I'll try and remember the formula for you, so we'll do it both ways. But in the future, what I do is I just pretend the whole thing is a rectangle. Then I figure out what these triangles are, and I subtract them out from the big rectangle. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do it two ways when we try this one out. So I've taken that same rectangle and I've just assigned some numbers to it. So the way the book wants you to do it is say, oh, this is base 1 because it's on top. This one's base 2 because it's on the bottom. I want to do 1/2 times. I'm finding the average of the two bases, so I'm adding them together and I'm dividing by 2. Then I'm going to multiply by my height, which is 6. And that'll be the area of the shape. 7 plus 10 is 17. So I'll have 17 halves times 6. I'm going to need to pull out a calculator for this one. So I pull out my Casio FX260 Solar, and I type in 17 divided by 2. That'll give me, 17 halves. Then I want to multiply times 6, and that'll give me 51. So my area is 51 units squared. Okay, let's try the other way where we divide or we subtract off those triangles. Okay, so my big rectangle here is 10 wide and 6 tall. So the area of my huge rectangle is 10 times 6, which is 60. Then I need to figure out the area of the little triangles. So the area of the triangle, I'm going to have 2 of those. They should be the same though. In any trapezoid, unless it's something really wonky, these two triangles are going to be identical and they're just going to be mirrors of each other. So let's see. Each of these share each of these share that remaining. So 7's already used up. That means that each of these get half of that remaining, which is 3/2 for their base, and then 6 for their height. So they're each going to be 1/2 times 3/2 times their height, which is 6. At this point, some of you are thinking, I'm just going to be using the formula, and that's totally fine for this assignment. My worry is that you will forget this formula eventually. So in my opinion, it's just good practice to try it out. So let's see, 1 times 3 times 6 is 18. 18 divided by 2 times 2, which is 4. So 18 divided by 4, put that in my calculator, is 9/2. Okay, that reduced it down to 9/2. I also know 9/2. I can convert that to a decimal really quick and I'll get 4.5. So now all I need to do is take 60, subtract off 4.5, subtract off 4.5, and that'll give me the area of the trapezoid inside of the big rectangle. So 60 minus 4.5 minus 4.5, and I get 51. Hey, look at that. We got the same thing both ways. We got the same thing both ways. Fun. Awesome. Go ahead and try this one out on your own. Pause the video, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, now that you've paused the video and tried it on your own, let's do it together. So I have the big rectangle here. My big rectangle is 20 times 15. 20 times 15 is 300. And I need to subtract off, let's see, 20 minus 12 is 8, so half of 8 is 4. So the area of the triangle 1, triangle 2 is going to be half times 4. And then they're 15 tall, which means that they're each going to be 30 when I put them into my calculator. So 300 minus 30 minus 30 will give us our total area, which is 240 units squared. It's going to be the area of our whole shape. Or you can use the formula. The formula is the area of a trapezoid is 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So the area is 1/2 times 20 plus 12, that's 32, times the height, which is 15. So I put that in my calculator and I get 240. So I got the same thing either way. Okay, let's try this one together. This is again something we're going to be dividing this up. We want to find the area of this, so I'm going to divide it up into two shapes. I'm going to divide it up into a rectangle and a triangle there. I can see the height of the triangle is 7 feet 2 inches. You know what, let's save ourselves a lot of hassle and just convert everything into inches really quick. So this 10 times 12 is 120, plus 1 extra inch is 121 inches. 7 times 12 is 84. 84 plus 2 is 86 inches. 5 times 12 is 60. 60 plus 11 is 71 inches. Okay, if we keep everything in inches now, we put our answer in inches, it's going to be pretty good. We'll be good to go. That way we won't get confused. So I don't need these measurements anymore because I have them in inches. Now I just need to focus on the rectangle. So I have a rectangle. I'll call that area 1. I'll call the area of the triangle area 2, and then I'll just add them together to get the whole shape. So the area of the rectangle is 86 times 71. 86 times 71 is 6,106 inches squared, or square inches if you prefer that. The area of the triangle is 1/2 times the base. Ooh, we need to figure out what the base is. Looks like this base right here, this length, is 121 minus 71, which is 50. So the base is 50. So 1/2 times the base of 50 times the height of 86 inches. So 0.5 times 50 times 86 is 2,150. That's in inches. Sorry, not in units. It's just in inches. Then I add them together. 6,106 plus 2,150 is equal to 8,256 square inches. So that's my total area here. And the problem didn't say we needed to answer it in feet, so we're good to go. If we did want to answer it in feet, we would just convert everything to a decimal in feet at the beginning, and then we'd go on from there. Okay, go ahead and pause the video, try this one on your own, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, welcome back. So, a mistake students often make, I haven't seen anyone make it in this class, is to divide it this way horizontally. And now all of a sudden I have a shape that I don't know divided into a shape I don't know. So this is a shape I don't know, this is a shape I don't know, and it just becomes a huge mess. So we want to divide it up only into shapes that we do know. So I'm going to divide it this way so that I have a rectangle, which I'll call 1, and a triangle, which I call 2. That way I only have 2 shapes to work with. It's pretty great that way. The other thing students will try and do is they'll try and use this hypotenuse, right? The longest side of the triangle is called the hypotenuse. And they'll try and use that. Just because there's a number here or a number in the problem doesn't mean that we'll necessarily use it. In this case, we're not going to use this number at all. It's just there to confuse us and trick us, and it's just extra information that might be nice to have down the road, but we don't need it right now. So let's start with the area of the triangle, the area of the rectangle. The area of the rectangle is 12 times 10, which is 120 units squared. The area of the triangle is 1/2 times the base. The base, of course, is this right here, which is 19 minus 10. The 10 we already used up here. 19 minus 10 is 9. So 1/2 times 9 times the height, which is 12. Not 15, it's 12, because this is the height right here, not the hypotenuse. We don't want to use that 15. Okay, so 0.5 times 9 times 12 is 54. So we'll have 54 units squared. Now I just need to add them together. 120 plus 54 is equal to 174 units squared. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.